Okay. This next section, we're going to show you pin tumbler padlocks and the various different methods of locking things and different types of locks. This first one may look a little funny to some people, but it all depends. If you had a trailer, didn't want somebody to steal it, the tongue of the trailer would slide into here. You put your Allen wrench in here and screw this in, and it would make a bolt come out so that you couldn't slide this out. You turn the key, and then you can't put your wrench in here anymore. What this would do is keep somebody from hitching onto your trailer and stealing it. This is made by the Master Lock Company. Just a pin tumbler variation of a padlock. This next one looks a little unfamiliar to some people. It looks like somebody's adapted something, like a Rube Goldberg or something. What it happens to be is for the people that fly, the throttle mixture control would fit in here. The padlock would go in here and lock. This would make it so that you couldn't move the mixture control all the way forward, and the airplane would be lean and it wouldn't start, so they couldn't steal it. This padlock also has a unique feature. It's got a swivel bar on it. This piece here spins. So if they attempt to hacksaw this, all it does is spin. And then this other one's hardened. So it makes it a pretty durable padlock for locking your airplane up. Just another one of the things in a pin tumbler padlock. This next one, if you've ever went to school, most of the school lockers had the old combination lock, and then the janitor had the key. So somebody put a lock on your locker. If you forgot the combination, he could go put the key in and pop the lock open. It's another pin tumbler combination. It's also for the older folks that can't remember the combination, that they've got a key they can open the lock. It makes it a little easier sometimes. This next example looks really strange, but you've seen it before. And what you've seen is just this end. What it does, it fits into a file cabinet. It pushes in, and this lock part pops up, and it locks the file cabinet. There again, it's just a basic little 4-pin tumbler lock. And it's got the shear line and everything in there. This one's fairly easy to pick because it's only 4-pin tumblers. This is your everyday laminated master padlock. They must have sold 3 billion of these things. Every place you go, you see these locks. Very sturdy lock, put together with a series of plates, and it's also a pin tumbler padlock. They do make this in a rekeyable mode. We're going to show you that in a few minutes. American Lock make one, and this was for the U.S. Army. You can't take the key out when the lock is open, so that means that you always have to have the lock locked on something, which is kind of a safety feature. And this is a 6-pin tumbler lock. It'd be a fairly hard lock to pick. The pins are really small. It's not a very strong lock, but a very secure lock as far as being picking and manipulating. It's got a chain so that you can hold it onto the trunk or wherever you got it locked to. This next one is an ABUS round lock, or pancake lock they call it, and the shackle comes out sideways. Why they did this is so that there's just a small portion of the shackle that's available that they could saw on. It's a tough padlock to saw off or to beat off. It's a pretty strong padlock. You can see how you turn the key and it brings the shackle up into place. They use these on a lot of vending machines and candy machines and stuff like that. This next lock, some people wouldn't even recognize this thing. It's just kind of a weird lock. We're going to show you the application for it. Anything in California has to have one of these on it. It's a trigger lock. So if you're a locksmith in California, you're going to get used to seeing these. It goes down and locks. Take the key out so that you can't push the trigger. It's a safety feature they've brought into law the first of the year. Everything out here has to have a trigger lock on it. And again, it's a pin tumbler lock. This is a 4-pin tumbler, so it would be fairly easy to pick, but there again, it's fairly secure to keep the kids out of it. Now we're going to go on, we're going to show you pin tumbler padlocks, but ones that can be rekeyed, which is kind of neat, because if you get a customer in and he wants 2 or 3 padlocks and you don't need to order them, you can just take the existing padlocks the customers got and repin them.